Hey, it's Don, the auction professor here. We're going to talk about another collectible item that we do sell in, something that you can make a lot of money in, and this is something that was given away back in the day. These are promotional buttons, pinback buttons. There's tens of thousands of different kinds. Most people recognize them these days as campaign buttons or sports team buttons that you would wear on your shirt. Let's hop over to the screen right now and show you some of these high prices for free items. So here we are with the first pin. Now there's a whole series of Santa Claus ones. Most stores gave away Santa Claus pins, either ahead of a visit from Santa Claus or at the visit of Santa Claus. So the kids would want to come back and see Santa Claus and tell him more things they wanted. You'd have to wait in line. A Christmas Story is a perfect example of the kids waiting in line at the mall. When I was younger, that thing still happened. You'd see Santa at the mall. Nowadays, there's only one mall in my whole area. There used to be like 7 when I was younger. So malls and big department stores seem to be a thing of the past, at least in the aspect they used to be. So Bon March is a very well-known company. It's been around, I think, since the 1850s or 60s. I've sold trade cards from Bon March from like 1870s many, many times, and most anything from there sells for some good money. There's a big group of collectors that just collect Santa Claus pins, pinback buttons. Now, to be able to tell if these are real or reproduction, the biggest and easiest way to tell is if the pin from the back of this that you would actually use to stick it through your shirt is longer than the button and sticks out past the button, which you can see in this one. It's vintage, because after a certain point it was against the law to do that for safety reasons. It had to be able to lock in and not be able to stab somebody with the pin. So this one went for $338. Very nice example, very fine one from a nice store. Now the next one here is a Dory Miller pin. He's the hero of Pearl Harbor. This was a big thing going around back then. If I'm not mistaken, he swam in to a burning ship and pulled people out. If I'm not mistaken, that's basically the gist of the story. Look him up. Anything like this would go for some very good money. You know when it was made. It's World War II. It looks to be original. Very nice piece. $208 on this one. Really fine example of this. Now here's an interesting campaign pin from 1912 for someone running for governor. Now I'm not sure who they are or what state they were running in. Not really the issue here. It's the age on this for one. It has the Liberty Bell. I'm sure someone knows exactly who this is. At least someone who's spending $148 on a pinback button that's only about an inch or so tall. Next one here is Meet Me Tonight at Crystal Theater. Interesting one. I'm sure it's some sort of advertisement. Maybe it's tied to Harold Lloyd and the clock scene. Who knows? This is really a nice, interesting one. Looks like the hand actually moves on this. $123. Just a really nice, fine example of one of these styles. You can see how the pin sticks out past the back. So that's what you're looking for. A longer pin than the actual button itself. Next one here is Betty Boop. Roxy Theater, New York City, well-known theater. $90 on this one. This was probably an advertisement for one of the shorts that was playing there at the time, given away to the kids so the kids would come in and watch the movies. Back then it was 5 or 10 cents to watch as many movies as you wanted, basically. Now here's one from Woolworth County Fair from Wisconsin from 1898. You'll see stuff like this, that there'll be a general who was in the Civil War or something along that line. And you'll see stuff like this, just like Wild Bill Cody's Wild West show and things like that. He was probably a Civil War vet, I would imagine. Someone well known. $78 here. Here is another one. This one's for General Custer, General George Custer. Very interesting piece, fairly scarce. Monroe, Michigan around here claims him as his own. I'm not sure if that's really the case. I know there's been a fight over who actually could claim him as being their resident, but this is an interesting one. It looks to be early 1896. If you look them on the back, most of them say like Whitehead and Hogue or something along that line. At least the ones that I have seen. $75. Now, back in the day, there'd be Pep cereal ones put in there for like the earlier Superman and things like that. Lots of the ammunition, the military collectibles and things like that also had them. This is Peter's shells, shotgun shells, if you're not familiar or haven't seen something like this before. We've had trade cards and print ads for early Peter's shells that have sold very well. So this is just another example of something you can look for. $65 as you can see. Nice one here. Very nice example. Now here's one for Billy Buster shoes. These are school shoes. These were given out to the kids after their parents bought a pair of shoes for the most part. $61 on this one. Another Santa one. Now this is probably from just a toy store or a department of a main big store. So could go either way on this one. I'm not 100% sure on this. Went for $60 US. It's from Canada. As I said, there's hundreds of Santa Claus ones. Just in one town alone, there could be 20 or 30 different Santa Claus pins. So, you know, they show up. They're fairly scarce, but they do sell fairly well. These are free items, as I said. Now here's another nice one here. National League Champions Chicago Cubs. $59.99. Not super spectacular old. Not a lot of good graphics on it, but still a nice collectible pin here. Nice pin back. Now here's one for Paul Revere and the Raiders. Something that would have been given out to the audience prior to a show or when a record was released. A lot of times they gave away promo items at record stores. Could even have been handed out from a movie that they were in or anything along that line. Really nice one here. $51 on this one. Now here's a Signal Oil Tarzan Club pin. Signal Oil, I think, was a California company, if I'm not mistaken. I know I've seen Signal Oil in a California picture, if I'm not mistaken. Went for $50, and it's a tie-in to the comic strip from Tarzan. Really nice one. You can tell, again, the pin sticks out past the button. Here's another interesting one from 1900, Mortgage Lifters of the West. Some kind of banking, I would say, national convention, Lincoln, Nebraska. It's from 1900. It's very early for something like this. Nice graphics with a cow, $45. Now here's a Yellow Kids pin, $44.95. Yellow Kids was a comic strip from the, I guess you would say, the Platinum Age, from the 1890s era. Really nice piece. This one dates from 1896. It's a whole series of these. These were in cigarettes, believe it or not, and these were for kids. Now here's a really killer set here. This is an Abraham Lincoln and George McClellan campaign pins. Now these are Faro types, which are like tin types basically. They're mounted on a pin. It literally has a pin back on the back of these. Rather interesting pieces here. Something you won't find very often. They went for a couple grand. So it's just a very scarce item. It's like having an actual photo, a Faro type, of the actual people. Lincoln stuff like this goes for an insane amount of money. Now, campaign buttons I've left out for the most part because there's a ton of them. There's a bunch you could get into if you're going into campaign buttons, and there's a large number of reproductions. So that would be a whole nother video all on its own. Campaign buttons are just a huge field all themselves. Now here's something for Dom, Primetime Treasure Hunter. I'm sure he would love this piece here. If I ever run into one, I promise you I'm going to send it to Dom. This is a 1966 Superhero Club pin with the Hulk on it. Now the Superhero Club was a membership. You'd pay. You could send away for it from the back of a comic book. They sent out many different promotional items like this or gave them away at comic book shops and things along that line here. A rather nice example here. You can see the price. Here's another one for you, Dom. I've seen only one of these in my entire life, so this one's probably one of the more common ones. Hulk is more desirable, obviously you can tell by the price. $70 still, though, for Captain America. Still a nice one here. They're about 2 inches, if I remember right, in size. Now here's a Donald Duck pin here. This probably goes back to World War II. Wanna Fight. The design of Donald is an earlier one, definitely from the 30s or 40s. $151. Disney did a lot of the logos for the ships and the planes during World War II, a lot of the insignia, so this ties back into them with that same type of era. Rather nice one here. Now here's another interesting Disney one. This is a Globetrotter pin. It was like a club membership you could join. This is one of the pins from there. This is more common, obviously, than the Donald Duck ones, in my opinion. I've run into a few pieces of the Globetrotters. There's newer pins, the reproductions that Disney makes themselves, and there's pins, actually, like enamel-style pins from the 30s and 40s of this same style of material. And as you can see, it sold for $55. Really nice, really cute piece. Now here's one of my pieces. I took $50 on this. This was a brownie pin here. Many of these styles have a metal back or metal frame, depending on the manufacturer of this. This is an earlier one, maybe an enamel face. It's hard to tell on this one, but for $50, I was fine with that. Votes for Women, Suffragette. Really nice example of one of these. They're small. If they were bigger, this thing would go for some horrendous amount of money. Almost $80 on this one. Still a decent price. I've seen some Votes for Women that went for $150 to $200. So it's something I would always buy. They always go for some decent money. Now here's an advertising piece from Carhartt. They made overalls and work jeans and things along that line. The brass button that actually snaps the overall strap is almost similar to the heart you'll see there with the word Carhartts on it. So they still make jackets today, a lot of hunting jackets. $70 for this one. Even the old overall pins and buttons that would have snapped off or broken off, some of those can go for $5, $10, $15, even $25 or $30 if you find the right one. Really nice items there. Now here's a Boy Scout pin from 1935. It's the Silver Jubilee. This one went for roughly $70. Early Boy Scout items in general always sell for some good money. Pin back buttons are fairly scarce, especially with the image on it. It's just a really nice example on the face of this. Sir Baden-Powell created the Boy Scouts. I was an Eagle Scout myself, so I do have the knowledge at least to pick and know which are the best items to get also. This would be a killer item here. And the last one's from New Orleans. It's a Mardi Gras pin. Really nice one here. I would date this one to probably about 1890s, just as they say. A nice early example. I'm surprised it only went for $70. It was put up as a bin. I would have probably expected them to have gotten to $125 to $150 possibly for one this old, especially if you list it during the season. That would be the best time to sell something like this. But again, these are all free items. Hopefully that gave you some thoughts into what could be worth some money. These tiny little pins, an inch, inch and a quarter, inch and a half at the most on some of these, they still go for some good money. But that's what I have for you today. Well, there you are. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell a friend.